Sorry about that. My stepdad called me. He wanted me to wash the dishes. I'll wash it after the video. I'll wash it. Yeah. So in the Vincent Valentino, I'm going to ask him to interview me about the book industry, and my own novel, and also advice to aspiring authors who want to write a novel, a fantasy novel. I'm going to give my advice. And I know about the book publishing industry. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about the book publishing industry, the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing, the pros and cons. So what I'll do is, the first video I can talk about my book and the book publishing industry. And then second video I can talk about advice to authors. And the third video I can talk about the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing, the pros and cons. I know all about that stuff. I did my research, obviously. I read a lot of things online. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I know about the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing, guys. That was my first video. Remember that first video? That was my first video in my miscellaneous series, guys. I made like 6 years ago. Yeah, man, 6 years ago, and time flies fast. Oh yeah. Yeah. Fine, what is the better option? Traditional publishing or self-publishing? It just depends on what you want to do. But look, man, if you have a large following, like let's say you have a YouTube channel or you have an Instagram following of like 20,000 people, 30,000 people, it's common sense you self-publish, right? You have already a big audience. If you already have a big audience, it's common sense you self-publish your book. That way you make more money and yeah. But whereas if you don't have as big of an audience, maybe traditional publishing is the best path for you. But traditional publishing, you lose control, the controlling right of your novel, man. And the editors, if they want to change stuff in your story, change your characters, they can do that, obviously, yeah. Obviously, but there's pros and cons to both sides, obviously. Self-publishing costs more money. Traditional publishing costs very little money. But traditional publishing is a daunting process. You have to find a literary agent, which can take time, maybe 1, 2, 3 years. And once you've landed your agent, that agent now has to get you a book publishing deal with a book publishing house, which can take time. And let's say you're lucky and you do get a book publishing deal, you lose the controlling right of your novel. Yeah, and you're a puppet and you make way less money. But if your book's a hit, you get to be a famous author. You'll be featured on a magazine. You'll be doing book signing sessions. You'll be on Jimmy Fallon and all that stuff. But you're a puppet, and the book publishing houses own you, man. They own your book and they own you. You're their puppet. Where sub-publishing is 100% yours. It's your brand, man. Yeah, your brand. Yeah. Obviously. Is there a higher chance of your book being a hit if you self-publish or traditionally publish? It just depends on how you market your book, right? For self-publishing, you're 100% responsible in marketing your own work. Obviously, but I told you ways how to market your book. You can market your book on your Facebook, on your Instagram, you know what I'm saying? On your YouTube channel, you have a YouTube channel. Obviously, yeah. So I'm saying you can make some pretty good money, obviously. Whereas me, I don't have to worry about marketing. I have the keys to the kingdom. I'm the son of God. I'm special. I know the whole leadership will buy my book. I have the keys to the kingdom. I don't have to worry about marketing. I have the keys. The kingdom, obviously, right? Yeah. I can easily market my book. I have the keys to the kingdom. Hence why I'm going to make billions off my book. And the Xanus brand is 100% mine, yeah. It's 100% my brand. Xanus brand. The gate's not touching my money. It's my brand, not theirs. 0, yeah. So, Sarah? Yeah. Why, did you have a fun time writing Xanus? Yes, I had a blast writing Xanus. I had a fun time writing Xanus. Because I knew my book was sick, I had a blast writing it. But being an author is not my dream. I want to be a movie star with VJ. I don't want to be an author, man. Either you can do both. Yes, you'll make more money. Yes, I could do both. But I told you, once I do my movie, making a movie is a lot of work. Once I do my movie, I just want to enjoy my time with VJ. I don't feel like working after that. The money I make off the movie merchant games is not money for me and VJ. We don't need more money, man. Yeah, I don't need to write a book. The only book I might perhaps finish is They're Unique. I might perhaps finish that book when I'm king and release it, self-publish it myself. Obviously. That might be the only book I write, but I'm not going to write any books when I'm king. My dream is being a movie star. It's not being an author. It's much cooler being a movie star than being a fucking famous author. Yes, I'm going to enjoy myself being a famous author. I might even go on a book tour, right? Yeah, because I'm going to put my email information on my book. I might get emails for a book tour. I might go on a world tour for the book, too. I speak in front of like thousands of fans, and they're gonna grill me with questions. Are they gonna interview VJ? No, VJ didn't write Xanus. I wrote Xanus, but VJ will be in the audience watching, obviously, if I go on a book tour, right? Yeah. There's a high chance I will go on a book tour because I'm gonna have my email information on my book. I'm gonna write down my email information. That way they can email me and contact me. I might go on a book tour for Xanus too. Will not be as crazy as the movie world tour. It'll still be pretty crazy, obviously, because my book is the best fantasy novel ever written. The whole world will be shocked by my book. I even wrote a masterpiece. That's why there's a high chance and it's the #1 best-selling novel ever. It's gonna beat out Harry Potter. My book's gonna sell maybe 700 million copies around the world. 650 million copies around the world. I make like my $10.8 million. I'm a famous, successful author now. I might go on a book tour for the book, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So, Sarah? It's all behind the scenes. If you go on a book tour, when you film it, only if they interview me one-on-one, I can have a doc team film that for the book tour. But if when I'm interviewed in front of the crowd of people, I'm not filming that. You guys are missing out. It's your fault. You chose to keep me behind the scenes that you very fucking deserve it. There you go. You would have seen I remember in the public eye, but you guys are fucking super people, man. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't let go of the envy, man. There's no way I would have let you have fucking hot Victoria Justice all to yourself and VJ having hot Ivan all to herself. And we see how we never know what it's like for you guys to have sex. Yeah, the reason why you guys want to see us have sex because me and VJ obviously turn you guys on. And that's why you see it as a price, obviously. Yeah, even though the glory is amazing, because I and VJ are so hot, we're never gonna know what it's like for these fucking two beautiful people to have sex. You guys see that as a price, as you're fucking crazy people. At the same time, you're envious. You can't stand the fact of me being with VJ because you're fucking crazy people, man. Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't let go of the envy, man. You guys are too fucking hot. They have to pay. Yeah, you guys are fucking crazy people. Yeah, and you knew by doing this, like, peace out. And now the glory and fame is all behind the scenes. You go deserve it. There you go. Some Sarah. Yeah, I'm gonna go clean my plate when I come downstairs. Hey guys, I'm back. went upstairs to wash dishes. I thought he would come downstairs in my room, so my stepdad would come downstairs in my room and give me shit. So I went upstairs and I washed my plates, my dishes, as he called me earlier, right? Hence part 2. Yeah. Will the book tour be crazier than the movie tour? No, man. The movie, I'm bringing the world to life. I'm acting as Prince Tacius, Vijay Zithia, and everything them are devils. The movie tour will be much crazier than the book tour, but the book tour will be crazy. I guarantee we'll be going on a book tour too, most likely. I'm going to put my email information in the back of my book, my contact information, my book. Yeah. Will you put your cell phone information? No, because when I'm king, I'm going to get a new cell. So I'll just put my email information. And they can, if the people want to interview me, they can email me. That's how they can contact me in the back of my book, my contact information. Well, you have an agent, Ivan. No, self-publishing, you don't have an agent. Self-publishing is your own business. Whereas traditional publishing, you have an agent. But I don't need an agent. I have the fucking keys. I don't need an agent for my book. I have my own. Yeah. Obviously. But for the book tour, I might have to hire an assistant to help me out. Or VJ can be my assistant if she wants. I don't know. You can have VJ be your assistant. She can handle all the scheduling for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, I don't need an assistant for the book tour. I can handle the assistant stuff myself. VJ can help me with that, right? Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. The reason why I think I'll go for a book tour because Xanus is the best fantasy novel written. Once the world reads it, they're going to be shocked by how good my book is. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Yeah, man, it's the best fantasy novel written. Xanus is the best fantasy novel ever written. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece. Really, Ivan? Yeah, man, it's a masterpiece, man. Masterpiece. Yeah. So a lot of fans will ask you, Ivan, they're going to ask me, Ivan, what's your best advice? And I'll give you my best advice, but I don't want to be an asshole and say you have to have the gift, obviously. I'll give you my best advice. The best advice I can give you is study the greats. Study how they wrote their books. Study the way I wrote my book, obviously. A lot of authors and fans or aspiring authors are going to study the way I wrote Xanus. They're going to study my writing style because my writing style is so unique, obviously. But because I don't have the gift, it's going to be tougher for them. So, but they're gonna study my writing style. Yeah, study my writing style. Study George R. Martin's writing style. Study Brandon Sanderson. Study J.K. Rowling. Study all the greats. For fantasy, right? Study George R. Martin. Study J.K. Rowling. Study Brandon Sanderson. Stephen Erickson. Joe Abercrombie. You know what I'm saying? All those guys. Yeah. Michael Sullivan. Yeah. Study the greats, how they wrote their books. And practice your writing. Take creative writing classes. That's one of my advices I'll give you. Creative writing classes can help you out a little bit. And practice your writing too. Obviously, read the greats. Study how they wrote their books. Obviously, watch Brandon Sanderson's lectures on how to write fantasy. That can help you out a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Study the way I wrote my book. You know what I'm saying? And practice your writing. My advice is challenge yourself. Write maybe a 5,000, 10,000 page short story. You know what I'm saying? If you want to write fantasy, right? Write a short story fantasy story. A 10,000, 5,000 word fantasy story. And have your peers review it. And if you get bad reviews, go back and make some changes. And that's how you practice your writing. Keep writing. Because my writing was not this good before, guys. When I wrote my Islamic story, my writing was not as good as it is now. It was still pretty good because I'm gifted, obviously, but it's not as good as it is now when I wrote Xanus. I honed my craft in writing. My writing was not as good as this before. But because I have the gift, I figured it out. I figured out the magic trick and I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah. Because God gave me the heavenly gift. I have the heavenly gift from the heavens, yeah. God gave me the heavenly gift, yeah. So I have no experience being a successful author. Yeah. Before I'm a famous movie star for Xanus or VJ, I'm going to experience being a famous author at first for a good maybe like 1-2 years. And after that, I transition into being a movie star. And the movie will have crazier buzz in the book, obviously. Because I'm acting as Prince Tactius and VJ's Lithia. Yeah, looking at a sick movie, yeah. Obviously. Like some fans might ask me, Ivan, like how do you consistently hook the reader? How do you keep your whole story entertaining? I'm like, the best advice I can give you: focus more on characters, less on world building. If you want to have a more interesting story, that's my advice. Focus more on the world building. Focus more on the characters, less on world building. Instead of dumping the reader with, keep the story pacing. So don't spend like 4 or 5 pages dumping the reader with what the landscape looks like. Otherwise, you're gonna bore the reader if you do that. Spend maybe a paragraph. Like you read my writing. I spend maybe a paragraph at most describing stuff, and I get right to the point with the characters. And that keeps the story interesting, and that keeps the story pacing, and that's what my book is all entertaining. But I told you, even though you need to focus on your characters, you have to be able to write good characters and write good dialogue. Hence why you need to study the greats, man. Study how Brandon Sanderson does it. Study how J.K. Rowling does it. You know what I'm saying? Study how George R. Martin does it. That's how you practice your writing. So I'm saying that's the best advice I can give you. Study how I wrote my characters. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. I want to traditionally publish because to traditionally publish, I have to sell to the gates, man. Traditional publishing is in the public eye. I have to sell for that, man. Whereas self publishing it's my own business, obviously. Hence why I'm self publishing, obviously. Self publishing is your own business, your own book business. The brand is yours. Whereas traditional publishing, it's a business too, but you're under the publishing houses. The publishing houses control your book, and they control you, right? Yeah, you're a puppet in traditional publishing, and you make way less money. There's traditionally published. I have to sell to the gates, man. I'm not selling to the gates. I have my own keys, and so I'm self-publishing Xanus on Lulu, obviously. And for Lulu, I get 80% of the profits, man, and they take 20. My book deal is the same deal as my movie deal, pretty much, right? I get 80% of the profits. Lulu takes 20 for Amazon deal for the movie. I get me and VJ get 80%, and they take 20% of the profits. Yeah, unless I make way more money, then the deal will be 90-10, obviously. Like, if everyone in the world buys my book, which I highly doubt it, I make like 90, $100 million. The deal for Amazon will be 90-10. That way they don't do me. Yeah. Which is not going to be that, obviously. Chances are I'm going to make my 10, 14, 15, $20 billion off the book, right? The English people will buy my book. Yeah. My book is only in English, hence it cuts it down, right? Yeah. Yeah. What if fans ask you, how do you make your character jump on a page? That question I cannot answer. That's the gift. I don't know how I do it. That's just the gift that I have. There's no secret sauce on how to make characters jump on a page, because every single fantasy author, they all write dialogue, but when I write dialogue, they jump on the page more. I don't know how I do that. That's just the gift, the heavenly gift that I have. I'll tell the reader, look, I don't mean to be an asshole. I can't tell you how you make characters jump on the page. No author can tell you how you do that. That's just a gift that the individual author has, obviously. It also depends on how the art hits you, right? Like there's some readers, when they read books, the characters jump on the page more than some other readers, right? It just depends on how the art hits you, obviously. So if a fan asks, how do you make the character jump on the page so much in your book, Ivan? I can't answer that question. That's just a gift that I have. I have a God-given gift. I can't answer that question. I don't know how I do it. It's a gift that I have, man. That's my honest answer. I'm not lying to you guys. I don't know how I do it. I know when you read Session, I wrote my character jump on the page. It's a gift I have. I don't know how I do it, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. Like when other authors write books and they write dialogue, if other fantasy authors write dialogue, the characters jump on a page a little bit, but not like your book. Your book, the characters come alive. I know. It's a gift I have. I have the gift. It's a gift I have. I don't know how I do it. I have the gift from the heavens. It's a gift I have. Yeah, it's a gift. Yeah. After this, I'm going to apply it to Morton's. I'll upload this show, and I'll apply it to Morton's after this, right? Because I haven't heard back from McDonald's. I applied there, like, I don't know, like 4 days ago. 5 days ago. I haven't heard back from them, so I'm gonna apply to Tim Hortons in Elmer. Yeah. So that's why everyone hates the keys, Ivan. Yeah, man, they know because I have the keys. That's the ticket to wealth and success, man. Like everyone knows. Yeah, Ivan wrote his masterpiece. He has the keys. That's billions for him and his wife. He's gonna be successful. They know because I have the keys. I'm special, and I wrote a masterpiece. They know I'm gonna be successful. I know I make like my $10.8 off the book. They know I'm gonna be very successful. That's why they hate me with the keys. They're jealous, man. Those guys all live. Most guys in the world live the average life, and Ivan's lived a modern life with VJ. That's why they all hate on me with the keys, because they're envious, obviously. Yeah. The keys is a lottery ticket to success, man. Yeah. Some saying, huh? Yeah, man. Ivan, I like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and Way of Kings better than your book. If you do, I understand. Those books are also amazing too. But be honest, man. When you read my book and you read those books, what story is more entertaining? Last One's Nice is more entertaining. Yeah, you guys read sections of my book. When you read sections of my book, you see a difference between my writing and those other authors' writings, right? My writing is very unique. The story's fresh. The characters come alive. It's a more entertaining read. Those books might have richer speech, richer dialogue, richer worldbuilding, and all that stuff. But I think my worldbuilding is more unique, obviously. But my story is still more entertaining. You know, Ivan's worldbuilding is vague. I don't like the fact that it's vague. Even though it's vague, the worldbuilding still jumps on the page because the characters make it jump on the page. The characters in my book come alive on the page. That's why the wobbling still feels real. It jumps out on the page. I'm a genius. I make the wobbling jump out through the characters' perspectives. Yeah. Are you saying there's another passage of north? There is. It's due west from here in the mountain of Gileas. The way they speak, it makes the wobbling jump on the page. These are no ordinary Bassassatoys. They are big and fierce. They are powerful, strong enough to even kill you, one who's trained in the arts. They are devils. Oh, come on, we can fight them. Taz, listen to them. I've now said them, and their words might bring us some fair advice on our journey. Yeah, my book is sick. It makes the characters make the wobbling jump on the page. I'm a genius. Yeah. I'm a genius. Yeah. 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 Ivan, show us more. No, I'm not showing you more. I'm not showing you more. I want to ruin the story for you. There's a reason why I didn't show you Volume 3. Because Volume 3 is when the story gets dark and deep. It's a dark episode of Taki's life. And that's why I enjoy Volume 3. It's when the story takes a different turn in a direction. It's a master's book, yeah. It's a masterpiece. My book. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. VJ, Ivy, man, your story looks amazing. I know, VG, it's a masterpiece. I love the character of Lithia. I know. Father, what's wrong? Tell me. Said, I'm now sick. I know. Yeah. Lithia is a very amazing character in my book. She's an amazing character in the book. Yeah. She's my favorite woman character in the book, Lithia, right? I like Queen Sarah, too. Queen Sarah is an interesting character, too, as you guys read. Put it in writing. Queen Sarah is also a very interesting character. Yeah. What about Lithius? Lithius, Taki's half sister, is not as good as a character. She's not as major, right? She's a pretty more of a minor character. She has a lot of scenes in the book, obviously, but she's more of a minor character, Lithius, right? She's a pretty good character, but she's not as good as like Lithia. Mary's also a pretty good character. Belle's is a good character, as you guys read. She's a bit weird when you read the book. Yeah, Papari is a guilty man. Santaki's the first, so he's the son. Yeah, she's weird. Yeah, but Lit, that's crazy speech. No is the heir of Xanus wandering these parts. We're in the south. Yeah, they can't believe it, the Southerns. That the prince of Xanus from the northern kingdom would come to the south. That's why I wrote a masterpiece, man. My book is sick. It's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah. My book is sick. Almost done, guys. I'll talk for maybe 10, 12 minutes. I'm done here. I made a good like hour and 20-minute video. That's good enough for you guys. 2 parts, 2 40-minute parts. That's good enough. Then tomorrow I'll make a video after my shift. I go over because I most likely do work tomorrow. I'm gonna get a text probably around 7, 8 o'clock. I'm not gonna text the boss. I'll just see if he texts me. If he texts me and I work tomorrow, he'll text me, obviously. Ivan, you work tomorrow at 9, you work at Cold 40, right? Yeah. Oh, I don't like working at Cold 40, man. Cold 40 is too much work. Yeah, man. Ugh. Yeah. Will the boss be pissed off? He might be a little bit pissed off. He's like, Ivan, why are you leaving? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, the work here is a bit tough on my body. I'm going to tell him that. He's like, Ivan, like, I can eat you dishes. Well, if you can eat you the dishes, why don't you do it? There's a reason why you don't want to do dishes, because you know dishes at Coco 40, especially when you close, it's a lot of fucking work, man. It's dirty work. Well, if you don't like dishwashing, why are you working at Dinty's? 2 reasons. I want to get that chick's number. Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? And secondly, Dinty's is not as stressing as Coco 40, because I don't have to close the whole dish pit. Even though I wash a lot of dishes, the routine of Dinty's is not as tiring as Coco 40. Because Dinty's, they have a different routine, the way the dish pit works. Even though I wash quite a lot of dishes, obviously, it's not as stressing as Coco 40. Because Coco 40, like during the day, during my shift, you can argue Dinty's is a bit more work than Coco 40, because Dinty's are pretty busy on weekdays, right? Obviously. But Coco 40, when you close, that's when it's crazy. You have like a mountain of dishes like this high. Imagine a mountain of dishes this high all over the dish pit. It's crazy, man. It takes me like an hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours to close. And after I close, I also have to take out all the garbage. And sometimes they also make me mop, which takes another 18 minutes to mop the front of the restaurant, right? Hence why it's more work. And the garbage bags at Coco 40 are heavy, heavy bags. Imagine taking out 8, 9, 10 bags. And they're heavy bags, man. It's tiring, yeah. Some Sarah? Yeah, man. Dinty's is a lot of work, too. Dinty's is a little bit stressing for me, too, but it's not as bad as Coco 40. Like, Dinty's, when I end my shift, my body's not drained of energy, right? Like, right now, I'm still pretty energetic. Like, I finished my shift at Dinty's. I washed a lot of dishes today. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm not that tired, right? Whereas Coco 40, especially weekends, once I finish my shift, every time because I'm so tired, I grab a drink in the fridge because I'm so tired, obviously. I sit outside for like in the back for like 7 minutes. I have a smoke. I look at my phone because my body is so tired. Like Coco 40, I really, really feel the fatigue. The fatigue when I finish, man. I'm like, I have like no energy. I'm drained of energy. Whereas Dinty's, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm not that tired. I'm still pretty good. It's not as much work as Coco 40. So I'm sorry. Coco 40 is crazy. There's a reason why all the dishwashers quit. Because the work's too much. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Man, I'm sidetracking. Yeah. So, Sarah? Yeah. Ivan, thank you for the advice. Yeah, that's the best advice I can give you guys. I recommend you read the greats, read Brandon Sanderson, watch his lectures on YouTube, even watch my videos on YouTube when I gave advice about books. Study the way those guys wrote their books, right? Yeah, study the way George R. Martin, Brandon Sanderson, J.K. Rowling wrote their books. And practice your writing and take creative writing classes too. It doesn't hurt to take creative writing classes. You can take online creative writing classes. You can even buy books about how, there's many books on Amazon you can buy about how to write a novel. Do as much studying as you can. But the best advice I can give you is practice your writing. And study the way the guys, the greats, wrote their books. And that's how you can improve your writing, obviously. Yeah. Well, I don't want to give you bullshit advice, man. If you don't have the gift, if you're not a little bit gifted, you're gonna have a tough time paying on a fantasy novel. That's the truth, man. That's why a lot of amazing English students they rely on their English and their knowledge of the English literature to wow you with their poetic words, but they don't know how to tell an entertaining story. I told you the story about that one kid in grade 8. Obviously, this is what, like 20 years ago. When I went to York and Ottawa, downtown Ottawa and Lower Town. Obviously, that kid was a smart kid. He got like his 80s and his 90s in all his classes. Whereas me, I got like my 60s, right? I remember we had to write a story in English class, like a quick, like a 2-3 page short story, whatever it is. I wrote my story, he wrote his story. We had to read each other's story. I remember he read my book. He's like, "This doesn't make any sense, Ivan. It doesn't make any sense." He was hating on my fucking book. I'm like, "Man, what the fuck did I do to you, man?" And I read his book. His writing was very beautiful, but the story was boring, obviously. It was beautifully written literature, but the story was pretty boring. It wasn't that good. Because that guy, he didn't have the gift. He relied on his knowledge of the English literature to wow you with the story, but the story's boring. It's not going anywhere, right? Yeah. That's what the smart English students do. They rely on their knowledge of the English literature to wow you with their story, but they don't know how to tell an entertaining story. Yes, it's beautifully written, but the story's boring. It's not entertaining. They don't know how to entertain the fans, the readers, right? Yeah. They don't have the gift, like me, right? Don't even say, yeah. They don't have the gift like me. Yeah. And I guarantee you that guy who was hating on my writing, obviously, like 20 years ago, when he read section of my book, he's like, "Holy shit, Ivan, your book is sick, I know. I shut you up for good." Yeah, there you go. This doesn't make any sense, and I wrote a fantasy novel you can never write, so take that, yeah. And that guy was smart, man. He was a nerdy kid. He got like 80s, man. He was a nerdy kid, obviously. Because in York, every semester, they would do a thing where at all like the grade 7, grade 8 students, they go to the gym, and like and you get this like award, and you have the C's, the B's, and the A's, right? And I remember that guy, he always got the A awards, whereas I got the C awards. I got like 60s in grade 8. Yeah, 60s in grade 8, right? Yeah, obviously. And he got his 80s and his 90s. He was a smart, very, very smart kid. And I remember I read his book. I forget what it was about. This is a long time ago, but his writing was very beautiful. Beautiful written literature, obviously. But the story was boring. It was not really entertaining. Beautifully written, but it wasn't that entertaining, obviously, right? Yeah. So, Ivan, you're not a very smart guy. I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not, like, dumb like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has a grade 6 level education. Like, I'm smart enough to graduate high school and graduate college and all stuff, but I'm not the smartest guy in the room. So I'm saying, like me, if I study really, really hard, I probably get maybe my 60s and 70s. A few, maybe 180 if I'm lucky, but chances are I'll get maybe my 60s and 70s if I study, like, really, really hard. I'm not that smart of a guy, man. Smart enough to pass and everything and graduate. I finished my house and everything, but like, even if I studied really, really hard, I'd probably still get my 60s and my 70s if I'm lucky. 60s and maybe a few 70s. And maybe 180 for one class, maybe if I'm lucky. Because I'm not that smart of a guy. But I'm very creative. I have the gift. That's why I wrote a masterpiece, man. I guarantee all the Darcy guys, when they read Session, I go, holy shit, your book is fucking sick. I know my book is sick. It's a masterpiece. It's the best fantasy novel ever written. My stepmother told me it's number one, man. Yeah, your book's number one. Number one in the world. Number one in the whole fucking world. Yeah, man. Crazy, huh? You know, Ivan O'Mara, the kid who struggled in school, he wrote the number one book in the world, man. Fantasy book in the world. My book is better than all these fantasy novels. Better than Lord of the Rings, Way of Kings, and Game of Thrones. It's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah, man. Masterpiece. Yeah, man. My book is a masterpiece. That's why the Gates won't enjoy Man Item, but zero. The money off the books for me and VG is not for you. I don't know, the $10 billion off the book is for me and my wife. It's not for you. You're just a greedy pig, yeah. And you're welcome, VJ. There you go. Yeah. Will you be very controlling of how VJ spends the money you made out of the book? No, like, it's her money, dude. I'm like, VJ, you can get whatever you want. I'm not crazy like that. But like, I don't want you being stupid and getting like $10 million things like every month. You have to be smart with your money, obviously. If you want to get something very expensive, we have to talk it over. Obviously, we should talk it over. But you can get whatever you want. It's your money too. It's just as much your money as mine. But the amount of money you have in your bank VG, you're sharing out with me too, man. I'm sharing out the $10.8 million I made out of the book with you. You have to share your leftover $2, $3, $4 million you have leftover with me too, VG. That's how it works. Yeah. I mean, I get whatever I want on my VJ. You don't have to ask me that. It's your money too. You can get whatever you want with it. It's your money too. But if you want to get something expensive, we have to talk it over. Like if VJ wants to buy land in another country, or she wants to buy a cottage or a ski resort, you have to talk it over. But if you want to get like a $30 million ski resort, purchase a $30 million ski resort, we have to talk it over, which I'm not going to do. That's a waste of money. We can easily just go to the ski resort and rent it out. Me and VJ can rent out an entire whole ski resort for ourselves. We stay in the building and everything. We rent it all out. We can easily afford it. We're multi-billionaires. Which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to buy my own ski resort. Because if you do that, you're going to waste money. Me and VJ are barely going to go to that ski resort. That's why I'm not going to buy a ski resort. I'm not going to buy a cottage. I'm not really a camping guy. I prefer to just stay at a suite and stay at the beach, right? I know VJ, I don't think is into camping either. He's like, yeah, I'm not really a camping person. Yeah, I'm not really a camping person. I prefer to stay at a luxury hotel suite and like go out to dinner in a city. I'm more of a city guy. I'm not really into that camping hillbilly stuff, right? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you're saying, Ivan. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if it's something very expensive, yes, if it's something very expensive, it's good. If I want to buy something very expensive, it's good to talk it over with VJ. If VJ wants to buy something very expensive, it's good to talk it over with me, man. Don't just purchase it like that. You gotta talk it over with me, VJ, man. If it's something very expensive, and I'll talk it over with you. But the stuff that's cheap, if it's like a $100,000 thing, a $500,000 thing, a $1 million thing, a $2, $3 million thing, $50,000 thing, we don't have to talk it over that. That's pocket change. Yeah. Some sound? Yeah. Because once me and VJ spend our money on all the big stuff, the expenses of everything after that's pocket change. The vacations is pocket change. Yeah. The vacations won't cost me VJ much. We'll probably be blowing maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 15 million a year. On average, me and VJ we blow, right? And it's not affecting our budget at all, obviously. Less than that, probably maybe 8, 10 million a year we blow. After all the big stuff is taken care of, right? Yeah. So I'm sorry? So Ivan, you're more of a beach guy. Yeah, I prefer to go to a beach and just chill on the beach. I'm not really a camping guy. I might do camping as part of my bucket list, but I'm not really a camping guy. I don't like mosquitoes. Because camping, you have mosquitoes on, so I'm not a big fan of camping. I prefer to just stay at a luxury hotel suite and like chill on the beach or something like that. Go to a club, go to a restaurant, go to a bar. I'm not really into camping, right? Camping's not really my thing. Yeah. But camping is part of my bucket as well. I do want to go camping with VJ, but that's probably way down the road. I don't think VJ's into camping though. He's like, I don't like camping. Okay, if you don't like camping, we won't go camping. Yeah. But I do want to go camping with VJ as part of my bucket list, obviously. We stay at a cottage. Yeah. And yeah. I'm not a fan of sleeping in tents and everything. I prefer to stay at a cottage. And then we put a fire. You know what I'm saying? We smoke. We get drunk. At nighttime, we look at the stars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can do that. Something cool. That's part of my bucket list. But I'm not really a camping guy. I'm not really big on camping. Obviously. I prefer to be at a beach. Or go to a club. Or go to a bar. I'm a city guy. I'm not a hillbilly guy who likes camping and farms, right? Yeah. Because I remember in grade 8, before I showed this camera, I remember in grade 8 when I was in York, obviously, the grade 8s, obviously, we did a thing where we had you had the grade 8 class. We were the city guys because York was downtown Ottawa, so we were the city guys, and you had a grade 8 class in another high school who the high school was in a farm area, and those guys were all hillbillies. They all grew up they all lived in the countryside, and we did a thing where the people who lived who went to school in the countryside, they came to York to see how it's like to go to school in the city. And us guys who were the city guys, we went to their high school in the countryside to see how it was like, how life was like in the countryside. I remember that in grade 8. Yeah. Yeah, in grade 8 we did that. Yeah, we did this thing in grade 8. I remember that. All you guys in New York remember that? I remember that. This is like what, 19 years ago? I remember in the grade 8 class, in the hillbilly school. In the hillbilly school, obviously, the school in the countryside, the grade 8 class, in that high school in the countryside, there was one chick in that class. She was like in that grade 8 class, obviously. She was the hottest one there, obviously, and one chick from my class told me, yeah, Ivan, that chick likes you. She has a crush on you, Ivan. She likes you. She told me that. Yeah, and she was the hottest chick in that grade 8 class. Yeah, Ivan, that chick likes you. She has a crush on you, Ivan. She likes me. I remember when I went to their school, she kept staring at me and everything. Yeah, she was playing with her hair and everything. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And she told me, yeah, that chick likes you. You know what I'm saying. She was a hot chick. She was pretty hot. She was mulatto, I think. Latino, mulatto. I don't remember, man. She looked mulatto, Latino, or something like that. Yeah, she was hot. She was a attractive chick. Yeah. I remember when I went to their school in the countryside, I'm like, man, I would never want to go to school in the countryside. It seems boring over here. Yeah. I remember I said that. And I think one of the kids was like, yeah, well, I think the city is not as interesting. Yeah, because they're used to living in the countryside. Yeah. Those students were hillbillies. They went to school in the countryside. We're like, there's nothing there, man. It's the countryside. And I'm like, yeah, I would never want to go to school here. It seems boring over here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a city boy, right? Whereas York was a city school, it was downtown Ottawa, right? And their school was in the middle of nowhere. It was a countryside. I would never want to go to school here, man. Yeah, the countryside seems boring. Yeah. Well, the city's. I think we had a little bit of an argument, if I remember. Well, the city's boring too. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, at least there's stuff to do in the city. In the countryside, there's not much stuff to do, right? It's a bit boring over there, yeah. I think I remember that. We had a little bit of this dispute, I think. Yeah. Everyone at York was shocked by the countryside, and the country guys were shocked by the city because they're not used to living in the city. They live in the countryside, obviously. This is a long time ago. This is 2006. So 19 years ago. Man, time flies by fast, son, yeah. And that's why Xanus were the best brand in the industry. And the best fans I've written. Anyways, guys, I talked for an hour, I don't know, about an hour and 30 minutes. That's good enough. Hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part from Ivan Mary. This is Ivan Mary. I'm signing off. Peace. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow after my shift at Cocoa Fruity, or maybe in the morning if I don't work. I most likely do work. This is Ivan Mary. I'm signing off. Peace, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this show I made for you. Peace.